Welcome to Cards Unboxed. Today we're going to be looking at the Orbit 8th edition deck and the V8 parallel deck. The Orbit series is created by Chris Brown and these V8s are designed by Daniel Schneider. They're printed at USPCC on crushed B stock. The tucks are both matte finish card boxes. The 8th edition Orbits are predominantly orange with white and black design elements themed around exploration of Mars. The front has the Orbit name emblazoned on it with the circular Orbit logo with space debris around it. The back design of the card features on the back design of the tuck. There's add copy on one side and an 8th edition written on the other side. On the top of the deck you'll see the 23, which refers to Chris Brown's totem number, and also on the bottom of the deck you have the Orbit logo with a transportation rover spinning past. You have the standard Orbit seal on the top, and inside the tuck flap states persist and endure, and the deeper you gaze into the cosmos, the harder it is to look back. There are also side flap decorations in the form of the planet Mars and the Perseverance rover. It's fully printed on the inside of the tuck. There you can see the social media details. Here you can see at the bottom where it says "We are Orbit," and then on the left hand side it says "Miss you, love you always, Grandma, Chris." Now the parallel deck is intended to be the inversion of the standard deck, so the deck is predominantly black with white and orange accents instead. The Orbit text is now orange on the front. The back of the tuck is the back design of these cards. The same ad copy can be found on one side and the name of the deck on the opposite. The Orbit logo from the rover transporter is now at the bottom is debossed orange and foil, and the top of the deck says 32 instead of 23. The text on the tuck flap is the same as the standard V8, but the inside flaps have changed. We've now got, instead of the Perseverance rover, the Ingenuity helicopter. This deck's also fully printed, but instead of having the star field, you've actually got the Mars ground. You still have the "We are Orbits" written on the bottom. Now, if you've got a previous Orbit deck, you'll know already the two additional cards that come with it. Whether it's the standard V8 8th edition or whether it's the parallels, they'll both come with an 8 of spades, Chris Brown's favourite card, and a double backer. The identical jokers that come with the standard 8th edition feature the transportation rover and a little rock that has that 23 written on it. The jokers for the parallel deck are the 4 Orbit crew dressed as space explorers investigating a beach rover on the Martian terrain. These are the 3 standard aces that come with the standard deck, and here come the deeper coloured aces that come with the parallel deck. You'll notice that the red for the standard is replaced with an orange and the black for the standard is replaced with a lighter grey colour. Both decks have a prominent ace of spades. This is from the standard deck, the astronaut looking over the Martian landscape, and then for the parallel deck it seems like the same image but in a night setting. Both decks come in typical new deck order, but as I've already mentioned there are differences. They're using the Arco pips. The black and red pips that you see here are from the parallel deck, and then for the standard 8th edition the black pips are replaced with a lighter grey colour and the red pips are replaced with an orange instead. Here's a better look at those pips so you can compare them. It's likely that it's actually identical design, just with a slight opacity to these standards, so that they look a little bit lighter or faded. But there is what looks like a print error. From the parallels, the 4 of clubs, one corner has a faded pips from the standard deck. I'd be interested to see if that's on all decks, or if that mistake was corrected at some point during the 5000 run. The other concern is the edge definition on the indices isn't very good. It's quite wobbly, like a poorly traced vector file. Edges should be normally straight and clean, but these are quite poor by comparison. As has become what seems to be a calling card for Daniel Schneider, the courts are refaced to the faces of friends and family of the creators. You'll also notice here that I'm putting the parallels on top of the standard courts so you can see that light to dark comparison. A detail that I have spotted though is that the queens are now armed. Traditionally they always have a flower, but in this deck they have either axes or swords. Let's take a close look at the back design, starting with the parallels. You have a mainly black design with an orange orbit circle and the characters at the bottom and the top of the loop, the blue and grey star field around the circle, and the land topography map on the inside of the circle. And then you have the mini Mars planets breaking the borders to make fans look a little bit more interesting. The standard 8th edition has a lot more going on. So you've got the orange Martian mountain landscape that makes up the majority, and the white Orbit logo with the top and bottom character. You've got the Orbit crew at the top and the bottom with the transportation rover. Here's a closer look at that. Between the mountains and the white circle you can see this asteroid belt. Now that animates and it draws your eyes during the riffle test, which perfectly then hides the full marking system. There's also a one-way back design that you might spot during that animation as well. The standard 8th edition, in my opinion, is by far the better of the two. The parallels are twice the price, and honestly I'm struggling to justify it. I know there's a limited run to them, and I know there's foil logo at the bottom of the tuck case, but overall, between the print mistakes, the poor edging on the text, the lack of marking system or animation or one-way back design, you may as well get the standards and have all those features for half the price. Let me know what you think of these, leave a comment below, smash that subscribe button as well and give us a like too. And don't forget to head over to my Instagram account, @cards_unboxed, to see more images of this deck and all the others I've unboxed so far.